What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the party. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a few eBay stores, looking at how they can optimize their store better, seeing how they can generate more sales. But I want to touch on first, if I was starting over on eBay as a reseller in the clothing niche, what are some things that I would do differently so I could really get my business started as successful as it can be? So there's so much information out there as to how you can run your eBay business or your reselling business in general. And you really need to strategize on picking what's going to work for you. When I first started about 2.5 years ago, I had shiny object syndrome. I wanted to do a little bit of this. I wanted to do a little bit of video games and maybe some shoes, and then maybe add a few DVD VCR combos. Shout out down below if you are feeling the same way, that you just really don't know what you want to start selling because you can find a little profit over there, a little profit over here. And the reason why I say this is because you really want to become a master in a certain niche when you get started on eBay. And there's nothing wrong with being an everything seller. Absolutely nothing wrong. But for me, when I wanted to start reselling clothing, I really needed to narrow my focus. I needed to learn as much about clothing as I could so I could be successful. And I really feel like when you are a beginner out there with so much information shouting at the rooftops at you at what you should be doing, you really just got to do what you want to do. Is that going to be workable for you? Is that going to be doable for you? I know that if I kept on selling VCRs, DVDs, video games, and clothing, I would be nowhere near where I'm at today as far as like my brand knowledge, knowing what types of brands have certain sell-through rates, what types of brands sell between $18 and $24. If I had been spread thin in different categories, I wouldn't have gained that knowledge as fast. So I wish that I had just focused on clothing when I first started, because I'd be about maybe even a year ahead of where I'm at now. But because I was selling a little bit of everything, it took me a little longer to get proficient at learning what it took to sell clothing on eBay. So that was one of them. Another one is developing a source. Where are you going to get your inventory? Are you going to depend on just garage sales and yard sales to be able to hit your listing goal every day? You're going to need to be able to build relationships and find a way you can source the products that you want to bring in your eBay store on a consistent basis. Because your reselling life is only as good as your sourcing life. If you're only going out sourcing once a month and you expect to kill it on eBay, it's going to be harder for you to find those really good in-demand items just going out one time a month, unless you got a connect we don't know about, right? And so developing your source, getting good at where you're going to get your items so you can really maximize hitting the listing goal that you want to hit. Another one being, this is what I wish I had done before I got started, was actually planning out a schedule and a time of day to get all of my eBay work done. I didn't want to have to be scattered all throughout the day. It used to take me all day just to do 10 listings. So I wanted to be able to set a schedule on when I get these listings done so I can continue on with my day, whether it's going out sourcing, starting another business, or being with my family. I wanted to know when I was working on eBay and when I wasn't working on eBay. So those three things, I would say, if I were to go back in time and to start things over, I would really focus on planning out a schedule. I would focus on developing a source so I could really get consistent product. And those things can really help me elevate my knowledge base in selling clothing. The last one being niching down into something you really could see yourself doing. If you don't like selling trading cards, why in the heck are you selling trading cards? You really need to pick something that you don't hate doing, but you also don't need to love it. Like, it doesn't need to be your lifelong obsession with video games and you need to sell them. I would just say you want to have a general interest towards that area. We want to have fun in our reselling business, and I think if you put that roadblock in the way of having fun, you're not going to want to do it. Plain and simple. I don't care if you want to make millions of dollars or you're chasing the money. You really do need to get some type of enjoyment out of it. Otherwise, you're just going to be killing yourself for nothing. So that's why I chose clothing. I didn't hate it, but I don't love it. But it is really of interest to me. So those three things I think that would be most important if you're just getting started. You got to plan. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. You got to set a schedule. You got to know when you're working and when you're not working. I don't we don't teach people in the Patreon to be like, all right, get started in your reselling business. Congratulations. Now work 12 hours every day. We want to be done with our reselling business in a decent amount of time, 3, 6, 8 hours, depending on your goals. But we don't ever want to say, start working 12-hour days to grind it out. That's never been my point of view on it. There's people that want to do that, go ahead. But I'm trying to build this reselling business as passive as possible, even though that is very hard to do because there's so many moving parts. But I do want to spend as little time in this eBay business as possible. That's why I hired listers. That's why I cut the listing goal down. That's why I'm focusing on better items, which is going to be a huge topic going forward in the videos from here on out, is sourcing better items. So we have an eBay store I want to jump into, being able to help this lady really optimize her store. She's just starting out, so those are the best types of stores to work with, the people that are just maybe got a couple hundred items in their store, and they're just really feeling like, maybe I should be getting more sales. What am I doing wrong? If you guys are interested in a store review, you could check link down below or in the pinned comment on the side here, and it holds your place into getting a store review for next week's reviews. But yeah, I want to get into the chat before we start and just say what's going on to NC Fire. You buy your boxes from Uline? Nope, I used to, and Uline I think is like $3.30 a box for an 8x8x32. And I actually buy my boxes now on eBay for the last 2 orders. They come out to, let's see, I ordered 100 boxes for $268 a box, so $268 for 100 boxes, which is pretty good. A lot better than Uline. So check eBay for the size of the box you want. I use an 8x8x32. I used to buy them on Amazon, but the price went up like crazy, more expensive than Uline. So I have found eBay to be the best for those size boxes for me. NC Fire says, I'm addicted to eBay. I get my listings done and then still feel like I should be doing more. I'll tell you what, eBay has changed my life. eBay can be very addicting. You know why? I believe it is the cha-ching sound. I blame it all on the cha-ching sound. Once you hear that cha-ching go off for the first few times when you start listing on eBay, you get this like, not euphoric feeling, but you get to be like a fulfillment that gets kind of addicting. Like you're like, I'm selling stuff. I want to hear this all day long. And then you get to a point where it's like, I don't even want to hear this anymore. Trust me, you'll get to a point where you're tired of hearing it. We shouldn't base our, happiness whether we get the cha-chings or not. And it's almost training you subconsciously that like if you don't get cha-chings, you're going to be depressed. So don't focus your happiness or your depression on whether you get that sound. It can be addicting for sure. I see it with many people who start, and I just go back to when I first started, we were all like, wow, this is great. Let's list as much as we can because we want to get more and we want to sell more. And while that idea is right, it's just important to, not be too into the addictive parts that reselling has to offer. It is awesome and it is life-changing. So that's good to hear. And yeah, doing more, there's nothing wrong with working an extra hour a day, getting up more listings in your draft bank. There is nothing wrong with that. So that's the cool part. Hey, Marcus, what's going on? Yeah, just watched your video. If you guys want to go see kind of exactly what I'm talking about, Marcus Dixon in the chat just released a video talking about exactly what I'm talking about. Is this, we don't need to be killing ourselves when we're running our reselling business. And the one thing we should be focusing on at all times is picking up better items. So Marcus just did a video about that, how he's shifting his business. Really good insights, that's what I really try to help people in these eBay store reviews. I'm looking at like the types of items they're putting in your store. Like you don't want to be putting in St. John's Bay and, these lower end brands when you're just starting out. You can list it when you have thousands of items if your listing goal increases, but stay away from those lower sell-through rate items when you're just getting started. So that is a main point that I'm going to be making on my channel as well. Elio Mora says, "Hey, Bo, here to support you. Thanks for all the information you provide. Very grateful. Appreciate you. You come into these chats, and you're a constant supporter, so I appreciate you." Sandra, what's going on? Happy Wednesday. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Sandra. How's eBay been doing for you? How's your summer been? Really promising results from last month. We did $13,300 in sales in July, and I just checked this month's report. We're going to be doing about $15,500 if tomorrow goes well. $15,500 for the month of August. So you can tell by just going into your monthly report and checking your July sales and comparing them to your August sales, and you should see an increase. So everyone who had a harder, rough July, your August should be up. If you just continue to do the same things, or maybe you made a shift like I'm making, you should be up. So that's the good thing. I hope you guys are ready for quarter 4. Let's get into this store review and see what we can do to help this lady out. She needs help. So what can we do? We can offer some guidance, maybe some title structure. You hear me say it all the time. Title structure is key to how you get your items found on eBay. We want to stick to a certain structure, brand, item, gender, size, and plug in some relevant keywords. I know it sounds easy, but you would be surprised. Go look at the eBay solds, and you will know what I'm talking about. Everyone's titles are everywhere. So we want to be able to do the best that we can, and title structure is one of them. So your photos, I remember going over your store briefly, but I wanted to look more in depth. And I think we already talked about your photos, having the entire item in the frame versus just the upfront collar. We don't want buyers to be clicking into our item and then clicking off because they didn't get the big picture, right? They didn't get the full picture of the item. So I like these photos here where you're showing off your entire item. And I think the lighting looks decent, and looks like, that's right, you were doing some on the hanger / mannequin there. I personally would just get rid of the mannequin hanger deal. Just going to take me too much time to do my photos, and I don't have time for that. I use a vertical flat lay station, or you could just put stuff on a hanger just like this you have here. It's going to take a lot less time than doing that mannequin hanger deal. Though it does look better, it's like a sacrifice of time or looking better. Which do you choose? So you got 341 items. You've sold 24, so you're just getting going. I like the banner. Looks good. Let's check your sell-through rate so we get good health of your store. Why we check the sell-through rate of the store is we really want to see, like, how are they doing already? How are their titles? How is their pricing? How is the quality of their items? And by checking the total sell-through rate of their store within the last 90 days, we could get a good idea of how many they're selling per day in comparison to how many items they have available. So the sell-through rate of their store, we'd love to see 1% a day. That's telling me that you're doing good titles, that you're picking up good items and you're pricing them correctly. But it's okay if you're not hitting 1% a day. And if you have over a couple thousand items, that's going to be harder to sell through 1% of your store a day. So let's take a look at what you're selling through a day so we can best help you. So you've sold 18 in the last 90 days, and you have 342 items listed. So we can help you here, because that's not how your store should be performing. Definitely should be performing better. So let's look at the quality of the items you're putting in your store. So you just listed a few items today. You got this LL Bean rain jacket, $39.95 with $12.55 shipping. Comment down below, do you guys think that that is a good price for an LL Bean women's rain jacket? I would be pricing this between $17.95 and $24.95 with $8.95 shipping. So that price, in my opinion, would be a little too high. Bloomingdale's blazer, women's 4, small khaki pockets line. Good title on that. Appraisal swing jacket, women's extra large, yellow rose pockets beads. No punctuation in titles. It's really just a waste of a character. Metaphor women's linen, cotton moto blue jacket size small. So the title, going back to what I was saying, is we really want our title structure to be brand, item, gender, size. Brand, item, gender, size. So we have metaphor, women's linen, cotton blue, motto, jacket, size small. So what is out of order here? A couple things. So we want metaphor, jacket, women's, size small. We don't even want to put size in the title. We want to just spell out small. And we want linen. We want cross zip. You could put in things like minimalist, minimalism. I don't know if it looks blue. I'm colorblind, so maybe it is blue, but definitely want to just pick the most accurate color as you can and add in as many keywords as you can. So that title can be reworked. You got a couple things going on here. An Abercrombie and Fitch women's lot of 4, long sleeve, lightweight, top, small. So that title definitely could use some work. What is this? What is this item? It's a shirt. So Abercrombie and Fitch shirt, women's small. And then you would do, the relevant keywords like Henley, third, lightweight, sheer, flowy, round neck, and you can put button. And then you put a lot of 4, so you have 4 of those available. Also, no one is, not me, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I would be paying $13 to ship a shirt out for something that could be shipped for $5, $6 Ground Advantage. You have it at $29.95. I would list that for $17.95 plus $6.95 shipping. So sometimes it's just as simple as the prices. You can have the best items, you can have the best title structure, but if you're priced out of market, no one's going to buy it. Pricing is one of the keys to getting your items to sell. That's why title and price go together. If you have the best priced item, but your title's terrible, no one can find your item. So you got to do both. You got to really study the market and know what you're pricing your items at. Reselling is hard work. It's not easy. Sourcing, the photos, the listing, the put away, the cleanup, and then doing it over and over again. We really want to make sure that we complete the process to the full amount. We want to do the market research. That's important. We want to know, what do these sell for? We want to know, how should I title my item? You're already doing all the work sourcing the item. You already did the photographs. You already did the listing. So now it's important that we finish the title. Look up the price. $29.95 for an Abercrombie long sleeve shirt is, in my opinion, a little too expensive. And you wouldn't, you could put lot of 4 towards the end of the title. You have Athleta, new without tag, hooded pockets, lightweight jacket, gray size small. So it's brand, item, gender, size. So Athleta jacket, women's small. And I don't put new without tag in the title. You can just choose that in the listing itself, and people will know. And $39.95 with $17 shipping is too high. So I would change the shipping price to $8.95 because you could fold that up to fit in a legal flat rate envelope. And I would change the price to probably $24.95 to $34.95. But what's really killing the deals on a lot of your items in your store, and your items are great, by the way. Like these are good brands. Like there's nothing wrong with them. It's the shipping. The shipping is the death to the store. Like you may have a great price on the item, but no one, like $18 shipping is just a little too expensive for someone to pay when your competitors are charging $8.95 shipping for the same item. So really, first thing I would start off doing, not only the titles, but getting into your shipping policies, or I don't know if you have a flat rate shipping price set up, or if you want to set up a business policy. You're in the Patreon, so we can definitely work with you getting this all sorted out so you can really start getting more sales and getting better optimized. But yeah, the shipping price is one that I see that's really common for people that, they put calculated shipping on, or they're just trying to figure out what to charge and they just don't know, so they end up going what the default is. For me, I just choose 3 shipping prices. It's ground advantage, so anything under 1 pound, I'm going to ship ground advantage. It's $6.95 flat, done. The next item that I would be selling are going to be anything over a pound, like jeans, women's sweaters, men's sweaters, some jackets, heavyweight cargo shorts. Those are going to weigh over a pound. So I'm going to be charging $8.95 shipping USPS priority. And that would either ship in a flat rate envelope or a legal flat rate envelope. 90% of the time, those items fit in there. And then my next shipping price is going to be a $12.95 shipping price. And these are going to be things like heavyweight jackets, shoes with the shoe box, big old chunky boots. That's going to be the $12.95 flat shipping price. And that will usually ship in a medium flat rate box. I do lose a little bit on shipping, but if I'm shipping within my region, I will just ship in a 1092 USPS priority box. Probably modify it a little bit. So those are my 3 shipping prices. I keep it simple. You might want to take that and run with it because it looks like you're selling somewhat similar items, and we can help you do this. We are here to help. That's the key. We don't just tell you and then go, see ya, good luck. It's like, no, we're here to guide you along the process. We want to see you guys succeed. You know, your success is our success. So if you're not succeeding, that means I'm sucking. So I need to help you guys take advantage of the opportunity that it is in reselling out there. We want to be able to price our items correctly, find good items, and deliver them to the end customer quickly, timely, and that's it. It's just harder to do when your shipping price is so expensive. Eileen Fisher jacket, you got $17.95. While that might go for $39.95, the shipping just kills the deal. So, some of your shipping price is fine. Like this Brooks Brothers, that's perfect. This Brooks Brothers shirt, men's, $20. Perfect shipping. Decent price. So, look at this. You got Hudson blue men's jeans button fly. So I would do Hudson jeans, men's, $34. And that price looks good, and that shipping price looks good. So good job on that. Ralph Lauren Blue Label. Perfect price. I like that. All looks great, but your title's out of order. So Ralph Lauren shirt, men's XL, and then you could plug in all the relevant keywords. So, yeah, it may take a little bit of time, but thank God, praise the Lord, you only got 340 items. Because if you had thousands of items, you would almost be best off just shutting the store down and starting over. Because it does take some time to go back into your titles and rework all of these keywords and whatnot. But with 340 items, it shouldn't take you too long to do that. Start with your oldest items first. Let's take a look at some of your actual newest listings. Let's see, you got LL Bean women's rain jacket. So you want to put a space between LL and Bean because then that will be harder to be found in search. Let's see, and we kind of went over that title. We want LL Bean jacket women's medium, and then you can plug in all those keywords that you have. Photos look good. I like them. And you got measurements. Good work. Right on. Sweet. All right, so $39.95. We kind of talked about that. You could lower it to $24.95. Change your shipping price to $8.95. You have 30-day returns. Buyer pays for return shipping. Great job. Let's see. Item description. Good job. I like that. Simple. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, here's my item description. Very simple. I got my policies. I got my 60-day free returns, same-day shipping. We offer a combined shipping discount for multiple item orders. This is my default condition description for my items. Use condition with light signs of wear, no holes. Please see photos for exact measurements as the size may differ from the tag. So you want something real simple and basic when you're talking about your items. You don't want to be filling in too much AI, with all this junk basically that's going to probably just end up confusing the end buyer. So you want to keep it very simple, get your point across, very clear, and 9 times out of 10 most buyers aren't even reading the description anyways. But keep it simple, and I like that's what you did there. So you got your item specifics filled out, Good job. I'd probably work on filling out as many as you can at this point, because your store should be selling 3 items a day. You have good items. That's the hardest part about reselling is where can I find all the good items and how do I source them? So you have that on track. You have good items. It's just the price. The price is hurting your items. That's why they're not selling. Abercrombie and Fitch shirt, women's, small, and you want to plug in all those keywords we talked about earlier. And it looks like you got 4 of them in there. So what I would do, I would just list all 4 of them in separate listings. It might be a little bit confusing because you got Abercrombie and Fitch, a lot of 4. So is that 4 of them for $29.95? Or each, or what's going on? So I'm sure it's probably 4 for $29.95. But I would take them all down, or I would list them all individually and just list them all at $17.95 plus shipping plus $6.95 shipping. So good job, you got the tag. And I would put measurements in the photos as well. That will help. And consider filling out as many item specifics as you can, because if you guys are struggling with sales and you don't want to fix your titles and you don't want to fix your pricing, at least go back and start working on your item specifics. Maybe you filled out only half of what you really should have. And maybe you just don't know about the items that you're selling. That's fine. That will come with time. But if you do know, and you do know the material type, and you can go in and fill in a little more things that will be relevant to the item, that's not going to hurt your sales. That's time well spent. So definitely getting a few more item specifics in there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the brand. So I'd aim for at least 10, getting a few more in there. Because those item specifics are searchable. So Athleta, yeah. Just really working on your titles and your pricing for your shipping is going to be the best start on how you can get this store more optimized. Because look at the items. They're great. Fresh Produce, J. Jill, Tahari, Ellen Tracy. You have decent items in here. I just think that the shipping price kills all of these deals. All of them. So yeah, would focus on title first, shipping price second, and then continue on. And you are in the Patreon, so you can hop on the call anytime Monday through Friday, and we can walk you through it on how to do all these changes. But good job getting started. I think that's the hardest part, is getting started with anything, right? And it's not how you start something in life, it's how you finish. We want to be finishers. We don't want to start a million projects and leave them open-ended. We want to finish. Maybe you started an eBay store or a Poshmark closet, and you're all stoked about getting it going, and then that fizzles out, and you never end up finishing. We must be finishers. So that means you started your resale business. You're probably not getting any sales. What can we do to finish strong? That means we need to be able to fix what we got going on in our store before we start adding in more items. The worst thing is to have a slow store and you're not selling anything and you just keep listing thousands of items a month, and you're wondering, why aren't things selling? It's because there's a few things you got to fix in there to optimize titles, pricing, shipping. Those things can be key for the reason why your items don't sell. So getting back into the chat, Sandra, listing is down. Sales are down. Sold a coat last night for $225. What was the brand? Gucci. Well, keep on keeping on, Sandra. Just like I said, not how you start, it's how you finish. And I know you are a finisher, and you can do it. Who's excited for Q4? It's coming. No more summer slowdown. No more eBay titles with summer slowdown. Just forget that word even exists. Q4 is here. What are you guys going to do about it? Are you bringing in better items in your store? Are you going out retail arbitrage? Are you doing online arbitrage? What are you doing? Are you going to do nothing? It is my belief that doing nothing is not an option in life. Nothing. So I'm not here to do nothing. I'm here to do something. And just because I'm making all these changes in my business doesn't mean they're all going to work. But that's the thing we got to have is faith in knowing that if it does work, great. And if it doesn't, hey, at least I tried. So I want to know, what changes are you guys making in your business to prepare for what is to come? Because it's not just quarter four is great. For me, quarter one is better than quarter four. The people who get their tax returns back and they just start, January's terrible, but February, March, April, May, those are my greatest months of the year. Better than quarter four. So you're planning for what's coming. These next 8 months are going to be really, really good for resellers who position themselves correctly to take advantage of what people are going to be doing. They may not be shopping as much as they have before, but they are going to be shopping more than they have in the last 3 months. So that's why I'm focused on picking up better items. NC Fire says that's expensive. Yes, it is. Yeah. I've seen many stores that I've reviewed and not reviewed where their shipping price is either calculated or it's just too high. And that's really the difference in just a few dollars between the item selling and not. That's it. I know for me, if I was buying stuff online, I'm not going to be paying what it costs for the item in the same price it costs for shipping. That's just not going to work, especially if it's pre-owned clothing. Joe says, too expensive? Yes. Camford says, way too high. NC Fire says, too cheap. Raise the price. Yosef says, is this live? We are live. We are here. If you guys have questions, just let me know. NC Fire says, oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Yosef, you said, so this is the live stream, how to start as a new eBay seller, right, guys and gals? So, Yosef, if you go back to the start of the video, I explained 3 things that I wish I had done sooner, or when I was thinking if I was going to be starting over, those are the things that I would be doing. It would be connecting with a source, figuring out a schedule, and knowing what items I want to sell. You didn't see me when I first started. When I first started, I was selling everything. I was selling books, DVDs, trading cards, cassettes, everything. And it was fun. It's fun. You get addicted to that cha-ching, right? But man, was I everywhere. I was selling a little bit of clothes, but I didn't know nothing about clothes. So I wish I had just picked an avenue that I wanted to go down and just got good at that. Because it would have sped up my learning process that much faster. I would be way ahead where I am now. I'd be way ahead if I had done those things. Struggling to find where I'm going to source items, struggling to source or to list 10 items a day because I did a little bit here and there. You really got to treat your business like a job. If you don't show up today, what do you think is going to happen? You're getting fired. You're not coming back. So you need to put in the work. And you got to set yourself a schedule, and hold yourself accountable to that. Marcus says, I'm ramping up inventory on Canyon River Blues women's tops. Want to go half with it? Yep, let's do it. Order a truckload. Let's go. Canyon River Blues and some Field and Stream. Let's go. All in. Yeah. The best part about selling or picking up items in volume, you really learn on what's not good. What's not good to resell. And that's the thing that stuck out with me the most is like, man, I'm finding all these brands, but they're terrible. And I think that it would have taken me a lot longer to realize that if I had like a lower listing goal, like 10 or 20 a day. But by doing 50 a day for the last year, I really got to recognize what I shouldn't pick up and avoid it at all costs because it will kill your business. So if you guys are wanting to maybe be held accountable or you want to learn a little bit more on how you can grow your resale business, Marcus Dixon and I have combined to offer a reseller mentorship. You can find it linked down below in the description. And for a limited time only, we are offering a 7-day free trial where you can just try it, join a community of 56 other people that are growing their stores, learning about the tips and strategies that Marcus and I are using that helped us do about $320,000 in sales last year on eBay. What's included in that? You might be wondering, well, what is this? What is Discord? What is Zoom? So you get 9 hours of Zoom coaching a week. Marcus does the morning call. I do the evening call. And also you get access to 2 reseller spreadsheets to help you track some of those expenses that you might occur in your reselling business. You get store reviews on a weekly basis. You don't just get one. You can come into the Zooms. We'll review your store, see if you're applying some of the tips and the suggestions that we're making, and go from there. You get a Bolo brand list. We have a Vero watch list where we're always constantly updating it on who's handing out Veros, so you know not to list that, as well as an item specifics guide. And you're wondering, well, I only sell on Poshmark. This isn't for me. We have people who sell on Depop, Poshmark, Bonanza, Facebook, out of their house. They're resellers. We're all resellers. Don't matter what you sell on. And you might be wondering, well, you know, I don't just want to join your community, and it's not Marcus and I's community. It's all of our communities. There's people in the Discord that are doing 6 figures a year. They are going to be able to help you with things that we may not even know. So it is a community of like-minded individuals all trying to hit the same goal, the road to 6 figures. We named it that because we felt like if you're doing 6 figures in sales, it might be a good way where you can at least go from that full-time job to that part-time job and really start to ramp up your business, whether you want to do it full-time. Some people just want to do it for vacation money. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But we are purpose driven and we want to be able to help people hit the ground running, learning from our mistakes. You will make mistakes in business. It's just about learning about those mistakes so you can avoid them in the future. So I appreciate y'all. If you guys are catching this on the replay and you maybe have a few questions, just drop them in the comments down below. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer whatever you guys may have, whether personal, reselling, it don't matter. I'm here. Eric says 6 figures in sales without counting shipping costs. Yeah, so 6 figures. Whenever I talk about price or sales, it's always the gross. So yeah, it's going to be pre-tax minus expenses. But usually at 6 figures, you're keeping at least 30, 40% of it, hopefully, after, all of the fees and everything. So that is kind of our goal. So, but yeah, great question. Eric, you said that's always been my biggest wonder, 6 figures in profit. You can do 6 figures in profit, but it's definitely going to take another step of niching down, finding better items, listing more items, all of those things. But yeah, when I say 6 figures, it is pre-tax, pre-expenses. It's the gross total number. When y'all say both 6 figures, yeah. So it's counting in the shipping costs the buyer pays. Yeah, I mean, I spent $84,000 in shipping last year. But you know what I did? I put it on a business card. And now I'm going to get 4 free trips to Hawaii a year. Praise the Lord. Just got to find someone to watch the kids. So that might be tough. But, there's things you can do to maximize all the extra expenses that you do occur in your reselling business. I recently just got the Chase business card. I'm going to be putting all of my shipping on that card and setting up automatic payments. So yeah, shipping and taxes in general are going to be your biggest bill you're going to pay. So yeah, look at your yearly shipping costs on eBay and consider figuring how you can take advantage of that. But good to see you, Eric. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, like I said, if you guys have questions, just drop it down below. We'll catch you in the next one. Be blessed. Take care.